Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Be working on a 2009 Mazda 6 and I'm going to be showing you how to replace the fuel pump. So first thing you'll want to do is go ahead and pop your hood. So once you get your hood popped, we're going to need to relieve the fuel pressure, and the way we're going to do that is by pulling the fuel pump fuse. So this is going to be your fuse box here right next to your battery. You got two tabs right here, so go ahead and squeeze those together and that just lifts right off. And then if you flip it over here, you can see, let me zoom in here. You can see right there it says fuel pump 25 amp fuse. And if you look here, it's going to be this 25 amp fuse right here. And if your lid doesn't have any of that info on it, you can always pull out your owner's manual. If you go to page, looks like 8-49, it has all your under the hood fuses here, and then they're all labeled. If you go to the next page, you'll scroll down until you see fuel pump, and you can see that's going to be number 22 there, 25 amp fuse, and then fuel pump. So go ahead and grab yourself some needle nose pliers, or you can use this little tool they give you on top of the lid there. So go ahead and pull that 25 amp fuse. And so with that fuel pump fuse pulled, let's go ahead and try to start it, and it should die right away. That way we're relieving the fuel pressure. And you can see it just died there, and then just give it one crank. All right, so we should be good on the fuel pressure. And then one more thing I like to do is just go ahead and pull your gas cap off as well. So in order to get to the fuel pump here, it's on top of the fuel tank, and we're going to need to remove this rear seat, the bottom portion of it. And what I like to do is just go ahead and slide both of your front seats forward all the way, just to give you a little more room, and we'll go ahead and take this off. So in order to get this seat out, there's going to be two locking tabs right in the middle of each seat that we need to unlock and pull up. So if you lift this up just a little bit right here, you'll see this little black knob here. You're going to slide that over towards the driver's side here, and then you'll lift up. So see, there's that tab there, just like that, and that locks that in there. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Same thing on this side. And that lifts up. So with those tabs released, should be able to just lift this out of here now. Now we got access to our fuel pump just under this cover here. So let's go ahead and take this cover off. And you got 4 Phillips screws you need to remove. And then go ahead and lift the cover up here. All right, so now that we got access to that, before I go ahead and start pulling that fuel line and disconnecting that electrical connector, I'm gonna go ahead and take some compressed air or a vacuum and try and clean up some of this dirt and debris. That way it doesn't fall down in the tank when we remove this. All right, so what you want to do next is grab a small flathead, or in my case, I'm going to use this little pick here. And let's go ahead and remove this electrical connector. And what you want to do, stick it down this little hole here, and then you'll pry outward with it. So just pry out, and that kind of lifts off there. You got one on this side, and same thing over here. And then that's just kind of a lid. So go ahead and open that up. And then you got a tab here. So you go ahead and push in on that, and then you'll use your thumb here, and we'll squeeze together and we'll lift up. You may have to use your other hand to help as well. And you can see that just kind of lifts off there like that. Now we'll go ahead and disconnect the fuel line. Make sure you got yourself a rag ready. And I'm gonna use the same pick. And what we need to do is slide this green tab upward, and then we can pull out. So what you wanna do is you got like a, go underneath here and you got a little tab that you need to bring outward. So just go ahead and pry that, get one side done, and then come over here to the other side. Same thing. Pull out on that one. You can see it fell back in there. So just kind of get it started like that. And then try and do your other side without it. And then you can see I just pulled up on it. Just get your rag ready. And then we should be able to just slide this off of here. And you can see, since our fuel pressure was relieved, there wasn't much that came out of it. All right, so I just went ahead and grabbed a rag or paper towel, and I just wrapped that fuel line up in that, and then just kind of tucked it under there out of the way. So next we need to get this lock ring off the fuel pump, and you can see how it's kind of locked into these tabs here. And so what we need to do is turn this, that way this will go about right here, and then we can lift it out. So I'm going to grab a flathead screwdriver with a hammer. We'll try tapping right here, going counterclockwise, and we'll see if that releases it. So just like that, and you can see it kind of sprung up there. So let's go ahead and get this locking tab out of the way here. And then let's go ahead and lift this up out of here. And I'm just pulling it up a little bit, let it kind of drain. You don't want to make a mess. And then you got to watch out for your float on this side here. So like I said, just kind of tilt it, let it drain. Let's go ahead and lift that out of there. And then I got a drain pan here too. All right, so with our old one out, let's take a look at our new one here. It's going to be the Airtex E906 3M. And it's the complete assembly. You can buy just the pump if you want to do it that way. I just find it easier to buy the whole assembly. That way everything's new, and you don't, the strainer's already included and everything with it. So let's go ahead and pull this out of here. And as you can see, the float, you'll have to put that together. And just kind of double check, make sure it matches up, as you can see. And then also our plug matches up as well. And then you got these notches here for it to lock into place, and then this notch there. And then you flip it over, you can see your strainer and all that's already installed. So let's go ahead and stick this on here. And what you do is you'll just take your float here, that just pushes in there, and then it locks into these two tabs here. So just push down, and just like that. So we should be ready to go ahead and stick it back in the car. So before I go ahead and stick the new one in there, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this gasket O-ring off here and just kind of clean this up. And then also I'm going to go ahead and take a rag and wipe some of this off, just kind of soak it up, because I don't want any of that to fall down in the tank there. So like I said, just kind of soak some of this up, get some of that dirt and gravel, just so that gasket seats really good on that. Just careful not to drop any of that down in your tank there. All right, so as you can see, you got the O-ring surface all cleaned up there. Again, just make sure you don't get any rocks or little pebbles down in your fuel tank there. And then went ahead and wiped down my O-ring as well. So let's go ahead and put this in place, because you will need to reuse this. The new pump doesn't include it. Should be good like that. Let's go ahead and grab our fuel pump. So go ahead and grab your new fuel pump, and you want to install it pretty much the same way that it came out. That way your lines and connector match up. So go ahead and go at it kind of an angle there. Get your float in there first. And then let's go ahead and set that down. And then you can see this big tab here goes in between these two notches here. Kind of hard to see there. So it'll be like that. So let's go ahead and grab our lock ring. And then I'm going to put this on the same way. This one had some green paint here, which matched up right over there. So go ahead and push down on that. Get your lock ring here. So pretty much like that. You can see the green lines here. So once we knock that back, it's going to match up with that. And then we're in place, so you got to put pressure on it. And then just kind of get it set in there like that. Let me grab my flathead and hammer again real quick. So again, grab your flathead. I'm going to go off of this notch here. Let's see if we can tap that and lock it in place. So you can see now our green lines are matched up where they were. And then all these little tabs here are in the middle here. So we should be good. Then of course grab your line here. And then go ahead and stick that on there. Make sure that's on all the way. And then push down on your tab. And then just give it a nice tug just to make sure that's on there tight. That should be good. Go ahead and grab your plug in here. Push down on that. Make sure that's on there good. And then close your lid here. Just like that. Okay, so before we go ahead and put the cover and everything back on, let's go get a fuse in and then our gas cap. And we'll go ahead and start it just to make sure everything's good and we got no leaks or anything. So go ahead and put your gas cap back on there. And go ahead and replace your 25 amp fuel pump fuse there. And you can stick your cover back on. So now I'll go ahead and turn the key without starting it. I'll do this a few times just to make sure that fuel pressure gets built up. So let's go ahead and turn the key here. And you can kind of hear the fuel pressure building and that fuel pump running. Turn it off. Do it again. And we'll do it one more time here. So now let's go ahead and try starting it. You can see it's running. And then you'll also want to double check. You can see the fuel gauge there. And you can see we're at halfway there. So we know our float's working correctly. So you want to make sure that float's working as well. So let's go ahead and check for leaks. All right, so with it running, just want to check for leaks, make sure this line, nothing's leaking. Not seeing any fuel anywhere. So I think we're good. Then go ahead and shut it off. So now we can go ahead and put our cover back on. The arrow points towards the front of the car there. Get your screws started and we'll tighten those down. Then go ahead and grab your seat. I'll put that back in. And now's a good time to vacuum this out while you have that seat out. So I went ahead and did that. Get this up in here. And then these two tabs here, you'll just kind of slide under here. And then make sure you get your seatbelt latches here. Then of course, same thing like removal. Make sure you get this down in there. And then move that tab. Push down and release. And the same thing on this side. Alright, so that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully this helped you out. Pretty simple job to do. Again, this was a 2009 Mazda 6 2.5 liter, and I went ahead and replaced the fuel pump. And if you haven't already, check out some of my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.